Wait, you want to go live now? We're live in...
What is up, you guys? This is the Sticky Buttons podcast, and this is your host, Brandon.
And this is Blake, and this is a pretty chill video game podcast where we talk about the games that we love. And today we have something super special, and we are joined today by our friend Carter Dahlgren. So say hello.
Hey, it's Carter. Carter Dahlgren here, VR expert and aficionado.
Yes,
Not
the
an
guest
expert, just a fan.
Just a fan? Well, thank you. I appreciate
Yeah.
that. You're the first one I met in real life.
Really?
Say hi on the street if you see us out there, folks.
Please.
Yeah, I guess we're just gonna get started. Ask Carter some questions to get you guys a little bit more familiar with him, and he is our official resident expert on VR. So that's kind of going to be the topic of today's podcast, and we're going to be talking a lot about some VR. So I guess we'll kick it off with just some questions, like some general video game questions, just so people can get to know you. So I guess let's start off. What are your top 3 video games, Carter?
All right. Heavy hitters right here.
Heavy hitters.
Definitely a number one for me is Outer Wilds. So I just played that recently, and it's an adventure game, first person. There's no combat, there's nothing. It's kind of like a puzzle adventure, like where the premise is you are on this planet and you're going out to venture out and like explore the galaxy, and you're an alien. And then at the end of your first day, the sun explodes and you die. And then you wake up and it's the beginning of the day again. So it's like Groundhog Day, right? So you keep reliving the same day. And then like, it's obvious like you're supposed to save like the world. But, you kind of just, it's such a chill game. It's so relaxing. And I had the opportunity to share it with a friend. So me and my roommate, Sam Kinghorn, we played it together. And so like that made the experience like even better, like just to be able to share this story and like kind of like unravel it, because it was a mystery and there was no like the game didn't tell you what to do or anything. You just kind of explored planets and found mysteries and leads, and then you were like, oh shoot, like we gotta go to the Bramble, we gotta go to the next planet. But very cool game.
Yeah, I've actually played that game a little bit on your recommendation, Carter. I haven't made it very far. Just to check out a lot of games, but
you just gotta like sit there and sink into it and just like get lost is the way to do that game.
Yeah, definitely started that one at the wrong time. But because I mean it's really cool. It really is a mystery, and you really do have to put a couple hours into it at a time. And it's really cool because I don't know if you've experienced this, but I thought it was funny because the first time that you like go and talk to everybody, they have like a different dialogue, and then when you talk to them again, they're like,
"You like
sure
no
you're
information?"
Okay?" Yeah. Yeah, like you talk to this one guy, and you're like, "I'm caught in a time loop." That's like one of the dialogue options you can say. Yeah. He's like, "What are you talking about? Like, this is your first day in space. Like, you sure you're up for this?"
Yeah, they're like, "We're gonna ground you. Like, if you're gonna keep talking like that," and you're like, "Oh, never mind." Yeah, and it's cool because the first day, like you have to go and explore your home planet to find the launch codes. But then since you did that on your first day, you know what they are. So then from there on out, you can get on the ship right away. And it's pretty cool.
Yeah, definitely. And then I think your computer on your ship like records all your data and where you've been. So even if you forget, you can still remember. Yeah.
Have we talked about that game on the pod before, Blake?
We have actually. I think it was after one of those like news directs, and it's funny that you say that, Brandon, because they played the trailer for that game and you brought it up on the pod, and you were like, I think that'd be really cool. I think I should play that.
Yeah, it's a very cool game.
Definitely play it. So that's 2 recommendations right there for you, Brandon.
That's two different recommendations. I think I definitely am gonna have to pull the trigger on that. Is that on the PS5 yet?
I think it's on everything. I don't know if it's on next gen, but maybe. I know. I bet. I mean, I bet you're just playing a PS4 copy, like nothing special. But yeah, I just bought it digitally. I mean, it's a pretty small game, and then
it's indie, so it's a little bit cheaper too.
Yeah, and I learned like about the engine behind it, which was actually really cool. So like there's like a physics engine that's constantly running in the background because the same stuff like happens every day. Like there's like one planet that's like falling apart throughout the day. Like parts of it are like caving in, and there's a black hole in the middle of it. It's falling the exact same every single day, which is really cool.
That is cool. Yeah, I didn't know about that, but I think that actually it was the Nintendo Direct, and I think they ported it to Switch. I think that was a big announcement. But yeah, so any others you want to shout out?
Oh yeah, what are my other top games? I don't know. I mean, I obviously I love open world games, but like, and then I'll play open world games and I never finish them because I just like get sidetracked. I do a bunch of stuff, and then eventually, like, my ADHD kicks in. I'm ready for the next thing, but then I always come back to them. I mean, like, I don't know if it's my favorite game, but I've played Grand Theft Auto since it was on the PS3. Like, I've played it on every like thing. I played it on the PS3, PS4, PC. So that's a fun one. Yeah. What GTA 5? GTA 5, like the newest one, because it came out on the PS3 and Xbox 360, and it was out on that for like and they're still just doing it again. Like Skyrim. Great fun thing.
Yeah.
I guess I get probably one of my top ones is a VR game actually.
Oh shit. Well,
we're gonna talk about
that in a little bit then.
I really like I like Super Hot, which was a normal game at first before it was a VR game, and I played it both times. So that's a cool game. It's like time only moves when you move, and so you're just trying to like kill all these bad guys throughout the level. And then it does some weird like meta, like you're in a game within a game, and then like, are you actually in a game? I don't know. It gets some wacky like hacker story, but
so that's a VR game?
Yeah, it was at first it was a normal PC game, and then they did a VR port, and it's really cool. And it's one of the ones I'll probably have my parents play when I have them first play VR, because it's so like simple. Like there's enemies coming at you, but it's not hectic because you like, as long as you're taking your time, they're taking their time. You know what I mean? Because they're not moving unless you're moving, which is pretty cool.
That's awesome.
Then I don't know what else.
Well, honestly, man, let's just jump right into some VR talk. So, do you mind telling us what VR console you have?
Yeah, so I have the Oculus Quest 2. So it's like Facebook owns it, which is like the only downside to it. Everything else is great. Like, yeah, it's like the only thing, because you have to have an actual Facebook account, and if you use like a bot account or like a fake burner account, you might get your headset bricked, which sucks. But I mean, I'm not a huge and I don't freak out too much about privacy and shit. So I just used my real one. Like, I was whatever, they'll just read all my data, I guess.
They probably already have it anyways.
Yeah, they probably already got it all. So
yeah, I actually doing some research for this. I was like, yeah, that actually sounds like the worst thing about it is you have to sign in with Facebook.
Yeah. That's really it, though.
That's just so like random to me. You have to sign in with your Facebook account to like actually be able to play.
Well, they do own it. I actually, not to like bring it into Blake's finance quarter over here, but I had to do a final on like any company in the world, and I just picked Facebook, and I had to write like a 20-page analysis report on it. And one of my things was, well, I guess basically the summary, I said in 2019, I said you should buy Facebook. And I mean, obviously, I think it's gone up since then.
Yeah. And then after that, they acquired Oculus. So, I mean, actually, Oculus was independent at first, yeah.
Well, it was actually kind of funny because at the time when I did it, they had just acquired Oculus, and ended up like half of my report ended up being about like the video game industry.
That's funny.
The monetization of it, and how I was like, oh, because of this, like they're gonna be the biggest company in the world.
Yeah. They've actually like
on it, so.
That's awesome.
Nice, well done. They've actually like not, but so like the community in the VR community has seemed to kind of like drive it a little bit. Like anytime that Facebook kind of like tries to do some weird shit, the VR community kind of reacts, and because they are such like a niche little pocket, and like they almost have like Facebook by the balls in a little bit. Like, I mean, if they piss off these Oculus Quest users, like they're going to move into something else, you know, or like stop using it. So, and they know it's such like a small market that they kind of have to do what the fans say. So that's kind of nice. Like, cause I watch some like VR news people on YouTube and all this. And there've been some times where like they've tried to, like there's a third-party app loading software, which is like called SideQuest, which is used for developers. And then also people that just like to play test those interesting games. And a lot of them are free. And there was like in the works, like Facebook might have like was thinking about stopping like porting third-party things. And the community was like, don't even think about it. Like, or we're out. Like we want to make games and we want to test games. But yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's awesome. Especially because I mean, you kind of brought up like it's kind of like niche. I guess where I mean, are you like a part of any like Reddit pages or anything like that?
I'm in some Facebook groups actually, but I follow a couple of Reddit pages too. But yeah, the community is actually like super nice. Like, you know, like gaming has like a toxic reputation often. You know, the whole like Xbox memes and all that. So, but like I mean, one of my first games in Population 1, which is a VR battle royale. I was on a squad and I ended up going to the wrong place. I was like, oh shit, sorry boys. And they're like, hey, we'll come to you. And then they came to me and I like dropped my gun at one point and he picked it up and like in any other game, he'd just run off with it. I was like, oh, that was mine actually. He's like, hey, you take it back. And he's like, oh, you're low on health. Here. And I'm like, oh my God, like what is going on here? And like, just everybody's like goofing around and laughing. Like
there's some amazing teammates right there.
Right? Yeah. I was like, what a great first game. I was like, this is awesome.
That's awesome. That's such a positive experience. What was that game called again?
Population 1. So it's a VR battle royale. And very, you know, battle royales are hot. So
yeah, they're fun.
It is very fun. And there was like a war mode, which like had 9v9, so like teams of 9, just like head to head, which is pretty cool. But I put some hours on that game.
Yeah, that's awesome, dude. So, I guess what is like your overall experience been since you've gotten it?
Awesome. So I first like I was very interested in VR like over the summer, and I started kind of watching this guy like doing stuff, and then I knew about the Oculus Quest, like the first one, and I didn't want it because like there weren't a lot of games on it. Like the best game was Super Hot, and that was pretty much it. Like they didn't have a lot of ports on it and everything, and then all of a sudden. I mean, I was like out of the loop, but like all of a sudden I just see this Oculus Quest 2 deal and I'm like, what's going on here? And I was legitimately considering like dropping like $2,000, getting a gaming PC and like a headset and everything. And like, and then this thing comes out of nowhere and it's like, I mean, prior to the Oculus Quest 2, which is $300 for all in one, it runs the game, it's wireless, like everything. Like, I mean, obviously, like you can't play some games. Like, I don't know if you've heard of like Boneworks or stuff like that, or there's Skyrim VR. You can't play that on the Quest unless you stream from a desktop, which you can do. So it has the capability to play these like beefier games, but you just need a PC to run it. But all these other games, like all these like smaller games, run natively on the Quest. And since it has like better hardware than the first Quest, I was like, holy crap, like no way. And prior to this, like all VR is like such a high entry point, like $2,000, like to just even try it, you know, just even see if you like it. You know what I mean? Unless you know somebody with a VR headset. And then even then, like a lot of them, you have to set up cameras in your house. Like, and you have to have this room dedicated to it, this and that. Like this Quest 2, like the cameras are on it. I can take it wherever I want and play it. I mean, obviously not outside, but you know.
Yeah, that's cool. Awesome. That's really cool. You know, that's something that like I guess I hadn't really been that in tune to it, but I did know that prior to this, the Oculus Quest 2 coming out, that you did have to have it hooked up to like a gaming PC.
Yeah.
So, like the price tag.
And it was just so expensive, like such a high entry point too.
Yeah.
So.
But I guess so. Like, one of my questions was going to be to ask you if you like if you thought it was worth it to be an early adopter, but it kind of seems like you're not even an early adopter because that was the people that had the gaming PC and then they had VR. And then now you just have it and you can run games right from right from its setup. So how much like does it have like a lot of memory? Like how many games can you have on it?
So I mean, yeah, like I'm riding the wave. So I got on the wave as like VR is actually like kind of starting to be a feasible thing. Whereas before this, it was like we said, an expensive hobby. And now it's like cooler, easier. And I spent the extra $100 to get the 256 gigabyte one, which is way more than enough. Even the 64 gigabyte headset, like everybody hasn't ran into problems, but I was like, I don't want to have to bother like coming across like having to delete a game or this and that. And also, I'm recording stuff because I kind of want to make some gameplay videos and this and that. So I figured $100 for like whatever, what's the math there? Quadruple the storage or something, like, that's a deal. Yeah.
That's really awesome. So I guess one of the arguments that back into Blake's finance quarter over here, one of the arguments that a lot of people that are, I guess, analyzing the market on these, and it's kind of like really two companies. It's Facebook that owns the Oculus Quest and PlayStation, because they offer like a $250 option for you to play PlayStation VR games.
Yeah.
And a lot of people are saying that it's easier. Like there's an argument in business that because you're just upselling somebody instead of having somebody adopt a completely new system, that PlayStation has like already won. But I mean, obviously that's like not true. Obviously the Oculus Quest is very successful and a lot of people have it. It's like quote unquote the best. But I guess my question is, do you wish that have you like even thought about being like, oh, I wish I could play a PlayStation game on this, or
no?
Really?
No. So that's actually a cool thing that I found out recently. Well, so PlayStation VR is very like limited. Anything you play on that, you have to get it through the PlayStation Store. It has to be available there. And like with this Quest, I can get some third-party games and some cool apps and stuff like that. And then also, because like I said, you can pair it to your computer. You can either buy a cable and connect it, or if you have good Wi-Fi, you can stream run the game on your computer and then stream it to your headset. And because you can do that, you can get, if you have like a Microsoft laptop, right, or computer, you can get Xbox Game Pass. And you can pair the controller to your PC and then play any Xbox game like on your headset, right? Like it wouldn't be in VR like where you can move around in VR, but you would be using a remote, but the screen would be as big as you want it to be. Like, I mean, at least it feels like a giant movie theater screen. So like even just watching YouTube in VR, like just on a big rectangle screen is insane because it's right here. It's in your face. It feels like you're in a movie theater. Like it's huge.
Yeah.
Like watching it, it's like watching on a giant 4K TV. What did you say,
That's
Brandon?
awesome. That's awesome. That just sounds so interesting. Like you can just do regular things that you would do on a console, like go watch a YouTube video or just like play a regular game. So I'm actually really curious about that. And that kind of will be like a good segue to my question. If you could step in a time machine and go back in time to when you first picked up your Quest 2, what tips would you give yourself?
That's a good question.
Seems like you've done a lot of research out here, Carter.
Yeah.
We pick our experts well.
Right. I don't know. I did watch a lot of tips and tricks videos. Maybe the advice I would give myself is you could lay off the tips and tricks videos. I'd be like, just wait, dude. Like, wait, get your hands on it. Like, but I think I was just trying to scratch that itch. You know what I mean? Like, just like pretending as if I had it. I think I'll probably tell myself like, you're not going to play it as often as you think you are.
Yeah,
is one thing. So I definitely haven't played it in a minute, just because I lived with roommates, and it's not. There's one really cool app called Acorns. It's acorn spelled incorrectly, but the people can play on their phones as the squirrels and you're the tree trying to protect your acorns. But other than that, there's not like a ton of like shared experiences. There are more, but like you have to have a desktop, right? And I didn't have a PC yet. I do now. Just bought one, so I'm gonna play around with that stuff. But Yeah, thank you.
Also, real quick, something that Carter didn't mention, a little brag for him. He just graduated this week. So
yes, yeah.
Congratulations
That's awesome,
on that.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much. That PC was my graduation gift to me from me. I was like, I'm buying this shit, dude. Like, I want to play some awesome games, but
I love that.
yeah, like so. But yeah, and also like a lot of the games you're standing for, right? Like you're standing up and like, I mean,
really?
you can't.
I bought. Down?
Yeah, well, no, you can sit down for some, and but like I enjoy standing for a lot of them. I mean, a lot of like it's more fun to like lean and duck and do all this. There's like racing games and things like that. Obviously, you can play sitting down, and I imagine you could play any of them sitting down because you can turn with the joysticks and stuff.
But you can also turn with like your head and stuff too.
Yeah. So like, well, I'll come back to the locomotion in a second because that's an interesting thing. But yeah, I would probably tell myself like, pace yourself. Cause like, I mean, you can play it like for 2 hours and then you're tired a little bit. Like you're standing around, you're duck and diving. Like we were playing this like cool, like shooting game. It's like a paying homage to Time Crisis, which is one of those like old arcade games with like the guns. But it's in VR and it's really intense. Cool. Yeah, we were laying on the ground, going prone, like ducking all over the place. So and I'm working up a sweat, like so you get a little tired, and even just like standing, I mean, your legs get tired. And I mean, like I bought like a battery pack to play longer, but like even then, I'm like, damn, like your body can only play so long, right? But
yeah,
that's a cool concept. Well, I guess, but before we get into you telling us about the locomotive, before that, I wanted to know, you can like watch movies and you can do all that stuff.
There's Netflix, Hulu, all the stuff on there.
Which I guess it's something that I was just thinking about while you were talking. Like that can do more than the Switch can for the same amount of money.
Yeah,
the Switch is also $299. I mean, obviously you went and got the more expensive one.
Yeah, and you also can't, I mean, like, but with the Switch, right, there's a lot of couch co-op, like things you can play and stuff like that. You can play that on the train, like, I mean, but yeah, the Quest, like, I do want to do more of that, just like casual watching of things, because it's very cool to like watch on such a big screen. Like, it's not a big screen, but your brain thinks it is, right? Like, I mean,
does it actually look like you're in a movie theater?
Oh yeah. Yeah, it looks huge. Like it just looks like you're looking at a giant TV. And then you can do like YouTube 360 or those like 360 experiences. Like I did like a little National Geographic one, and I was in like the snow with the penguins and stuff, which is pretty cool.
That's lit.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You should do one of those for like Pokemon. I would love that.
Yeah, oh dude, sick. There's some really cool like some like third party people are making like Pokemon games and things like that.
Oh wow.
Fuck yeah, dude.
So yeah. I went the first day I got it, I just sat in the lobby for like an hour. Because there's like so many, like your lobby is like as if like you rendered into like this beautiful world, and then there's like a menu that you pull up, and you can change the world. So like there's an Aztec like temple, like there was a beautiful like desert area, like a cool house, like a log cabin. So I was just switching through those, and I was like, wow, and I laid down on the ground and like looking up. It was very cool, but yeah,
that's awesome. That's a really cool like user interface. Oh, that's awesome. I wish I could see like some gameplay footage of that. Or I guess like if you record your screen, you should do that. Put that up.
I should. YouTube. But in that, there's like, you can watch videos, like these flat videos all you want, but it's like nothing until you're in it. Like, because I would be casting what I'm seeing on the TV so my friends could look at it. And it's like, they're like, oh yeah, that looks pretty. But it's like, once you put it on, like I got this like childlike sense of wonder for like the first time since I've been like a child. So, I played first was like this. It was like a training simulator, really, but I think it was called First Contact, Oculus Quest First Contact. And it's like a training thing, just teaching you how to grab stuff. But it was awesome because it's like you're like with a little Wall-E type robot, and you're like in an RV kind of playing games with this robot. And it was just so charming and so awesome. Like I was like, holy cow, like I was just feeling like my heart flutter. Like it was very cool. And I don't know, I tell people like, I'm like, you should play that first. Cause like, just because it's so simple, but it's like so simple, and like you have such a sense of like awe and such a sense of wonder for such a simple thing. And if you skip it and play something else and you come back to it, it won't be as cool. Like it's just super cool if it's like one of the first things you do. I mean, it's cool, but like once you play like a real game, you know, it's just but
so what's that called again?
Oculus Quest First Contact, I think. It's like Oculus First Contact. So you like,
that's really cool.
Yeah, you're like experimenting on a little robot, basically. Right?
That's really chill.
Very cool.
So,
that's awesome.
Have you ever played Minecraft in this?
No, not yet. That's one of the boxes I want to check. So you, for like that, you definitely need like a PC to run it because it's just running, and then I think it's like ported to VR. Because like you can do that with, like I said, like you can do it with Skyrim, and then I don't know what's that space game that was a really like a big flop, and then it ended up being really good.
I fucking
No
love
Man's
this
Sky.
game. I love that game.
No Man's Sky. It's in VR.
Holy shit.
Wow.
Yeah. So you can fly around the galaxy and different planets in VR.
Also, it doesn't suck anymore. It's fucking phenomenal.
Yeah, it's really good now. So like that's so I won't play it. And I think you can even like you can play with people that aren't playing in VR. Like you and I could play together if you were on.
You know, Carter, actually, before we go any further, I actually know exactly why I put down Outer Wilds. That's because I played No Man's Sky, and I was like, this is just better. I mean, like,
it's different.
It's different.
Totally different game.
It's totally different.
But you're like so much more space to explore. Yeah.
Yeah, and like also like something real quick about Outer Wilds is it like the physics in it are very much like real world physics, like the way you fly the plane, or not the plane, like your spaceship and stuff.
Yeah.
Like in Outer Wilds, it just feels like I'm just gonna hop in the spaceship and I can like do barrel rolls and shoot, and it's just like, and there's aliens that you can't understand, and I mean obviously like it's on an engine, so like, or like the worlds are like or what's that word where it's like they're generated? They're procedurally generated.
Yeah, procedurally generated.
Yeah, so I mean that can only go so far, and it's like Outer Wilds, like it's really scripted, and they put a lot of time into each of those environments. But
Outer Wilds, like those environments are like pieced together and like meant to be explored. Whereas like procedurally generated stuff is very neat, but like at a certain point, like level design is nice. You know what I mean? It's nice to have something sculpted by somebody. On top of that, procedurally generated, there's a parkour game in VR that is procedurally generated levels. So it's like Mirror's Edge. You have a gun. So it's a run and gun, like a literal. And so to walk, you can use the joystick, but like to physically run in this game, you pump your arms. To jump, you fling both your arms forward, and then and then there's like a time slow, and then you can pull off your gun and shoot people. So
that's cool.
That looks dope. I mean, it looks like one you can play for 30 minutes.
Will you actually pull your gun out of like a holster?
Yeah. Oh yeah, dude, pulling a gun out in VR is like super cool.
Oh shit! I didn't even know that was like a thing.
Yeah. So like, especially on the Quest, like I watched a video of this guy who had his like parents and like grandmother like play it. And he was like, they just knew the controls without knowing the controls. Like he had them play games where you just grab things, which was like, because on the controller, there's like a side button where your like middle finger and ring finger are. And so when you grab something, you squeeze that. So you almost instinctively squeeze it. And then there's a trigger by your finger, right?
Yeah.
And so like, that also gets squeezed. So like guns, you just grab, pull it out and like pop, pop, pop. It's very cool. But
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Is there like a reload mechanic or anything like that?
Yeah, so I mean it's different from game to game. Like some games are very in depth. You pull it out and then like you hit like there's like a normal controller, on the top of your thumbs there's a joystick and then two buttons like an A, B, or an X, Y, and then there's also like a little menu button like a select and start. And so you would like bump one of those buttons and drop your clip out. You'd grab your clip, you'd pop it in, you'd cock the gun. Yeah, very cool. And some games are more simple because they want you to be able to reload quickly. I think that the parkour game, you just flick the gun off screen and then it is reloaded for you. But like that's because
cool.
you're not supposed to take your time. Yeah. So most of them are like relatively similar, and once you play a couple of them, you know how to reload a gun in VR at least.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it seems like it's very like adaptive and like easy to pick up.
Yeah, it's probably the most intuitive like gaming system there is, because to look, you look around, to duck, you duck, to like grab stuff, you physically grab stuff. You know what I mean? Instead of, there's no press triangle to like pick up something or press square to execute. You do it. Like, you know what I mean? Like you get to do the cool thing. And I haven't even played Walking Dead Saints and Sinners, but like in that game, there's zombies and people, but like everything has like like a physically rendered body, so you can grab them and like throw them, or like grab them and like stab them in the brain or whatever you want to do. So and some games aren't like that. Like there's another zombie game where like I couldn't grab them or anything. There weren't any melee weapons. So like if I went up to them, they just hurt me, or I walked through them. So it was just shooting them. But yeah, there's a lot of games now actually. Like there weren't a lot at first, and now that I've had it, and like there are actually like some really good ones coming out. I'm like, oh no, like I'm overwhelmed now again. Like another console. Like there's too many games that I want to play. But
wow, that's crazy. So you had a point where there were so many you wanted to play, and then you like played them all. Because I mean, obviously it's a smaller console.
Yeah, well, no, I haven't even played them all yet. There's just a lot that I still want to play. Like I haven't played Walking Dead. I want to play Boneworks, which is like this huge like. So this was created by the Corridor Digital guys on YouTube. I don't know if you've ever seen them. They're like VFX artists, but they have a separate team, I think. And they made this game Boneworks, which is not even listed as a game. It's listed as a experience, because it's more of it's everything has physics. Every single thing in the game has physics, and you have like a fully rendered body. So like they talked about it in one of their interviews, where like a lot of the VR games, it's just like your hands are like floating hands almost. But when you give the person a body, their mind is like it makes more sense to the person. Like, I can't just reach through this wall. Like I reach up and over it, like as if I had a body and stuff like that. But yeah, like everything in that game has like physics and weight to it. And then there's the quote unquote Half-Life 3, Half-Life Alyx that came out by
I've
Valve.
heard of that one.
Yeah, so that one was a huge hit too. So I want to try that one out. But yeah, there's nothing like playing it. That's the best way to do it. Yeah.
So I guess another question that I have right off the bat is where do you buy these games at? Is there like a Facebook store? You also said there was like some third party, and then like you can go to your PC, so you have Steam, or how does that all work?
Yeah, so in the Quest, so like each one has different things, but I go through the Oculus store. And so it's the Oculus store, and I buy games on there. And then these third-party games, I installed SideQuest on my laptop, and then I just plug in my headset with a USB to USB-C cable, and then it just loads it up. And then where I would find my games under the library, there's one thing that says like unknown sources, and so I go there to find those games. Which a lot of those ones like aren't anything crazy. I mean, some of them are, and then like. But most of them are just kind of like experiments and things that I got for free, that I tried out. But these other ones like Half-Life Alyx and things like that, you would get on Steam, because you would run it on your computer, and then you would stream it to your headset with Virtual Desktop, which is like the go-to app that everybody's been using, which like basically casts your entire desktop to your face. So you can see what you would see on your computer, but like in your face instead.
That's cool.
Yeah. And then recently, Oculus, like this is what I was saying, them being nice to like the fans and stuff. Recently, they added a way without using Virtual Desktop that you could stream games from your PC to the headset. But most people are still using Virtual Desktop because it's better, like refresh rate and crap like that. I don't know, all that technical stuff. But
yeah. Oh, wow. That sounds so cool, man. That's really awesome. What would you like to tell us about that gyroscope stuff you were talking about?
The what stuff?
I don't know.
The locomotion?
Oh, locomotion. Yeah.
What is a gyroscope? What is that?
A gyroscope, that's what's in our phones, right? Or that's an accelerometer or whatever. But it just knows when something is right side up or upside down or sideways, doesn't it?
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, those are those things that like you spin and then like you hold them in your hand. And
that.
That's what a gyroscope is. I bet it has
like
one.
the astronaut thing.
Yeah.
They put the astronauts in them and they spin them to see if they get sick.
No, I think that's something else. I think that's.
But that is a giant gyroscope. I think it's a giant gyroscope, isn't it?
Yeah, actually, it has to be.
Yeah, because it's like three or four rings that are all connected.
Yeah, because that's how it works. Because it's the gravity from the rings that creates like a zero-G simulation or like a space.
And then they vomit. Yeah.
Yeah.
But what am I talking about? Oh, movement. Yeah. So
you want to take a water break?
No, I'm all right. You actually so my voice has been gone since Saturday till yesterday. So like it's just now like back enough today, which is like perfect timing. So like, before this, I was like talking like this. It was gone because, I graduated last Saturday and then I was just acting a fool till from 8 a.m. graduation till 4 a.m. So, and then after that, I went on like this bike trip with a bunch of my buddies and so and more yelling.
I've also been on that bike trip. Did you enjoy your time on the bike trip?
It was awesome. Yeah, the ride was great.
Yeah,
good time.
Our fraternity did well, I guess spoilers. Carter was in my fraternity. We did this it was like a philanthropy event where we biked around the state of Indiana. I hated it though. It was Yeah, I did not have a good time.
It's like the best thing ever. It's like the best thing in Fiji.
That's what everybody seems to think.
Why did you not like it? When did you go? Well, you didn't go when I went. That's why.
No, well, yeah, that's part of it. I was on our exec board, so I was.
So you were all like tweaking that.
I was tweaking. I was like, we're all gonna get arrested. And then I, of course, I guess this is kind of self-incriminating, but it doesn't matter. I broke into like an abandoned fraternity house with some people. I mean, that fraternity house, it doesn't exist anymore. They tore it down.
Yeah.
But I was like, if I'm doing this and I'm on the exec board, imagine what everybody else is doing. I had a good time. It was a good time.
Yeah, it's an awesome trip. Don't let Blake tell you that it's not fun. It's fun.
How many miles did you bike?
I did 30 one day. I hossed it one day, but we get about like 30-ish, 40-ish every day, and it's a three day trip.
You think it's like 200 some mile trip, and then
if you actually
have one person going like the whole time. So
what we do is like there's cars at checkpoints basically, and then somebody's riding on a bicycle. But like the two rules are like, if there's gravel on the route or if it's like a dangerous interstate or something, we just rack the bikes up and drive. And then my like third rule is like, if we're late or morale is low and nobody wants to ride, like we're not riding, because it's still supposed to be fun. Like I'm not forcing anybody to ride if everybody's gassed.
Were you the chairman? Were you in charge?
Oh yeah. Me and Ryan were in charge. It was me and three other guys, all grads. We all graduated. We were all roommates, and then 4 juniors. So it's four grads and 4 juniors. It was like a very nice, like small, intimate group. I liked it as opposed to when I liked both times. What?
So that sounds like a lot of fun. When we did, I think there was like 12, 13 guys.
Yeah. When I did sophomore year, there were like 20 of us, which is also cool, but like 2 very different experiences.
Well, Brandon, we'll have to have our own ride across New York.
Yeah.
I'll show you how it's done.
Basically, in the crowded bike lanes.
Yeah, the crowded bike lanes of New York City. We'll go for a 10-mile bike ride and then hit the bars.
There you go.
That's a good plan.
That would be kind of cool, actually. You should just ride bikes to all the bars. You should just ride bicycles to all the bars, lock them up outside, and go inside.
I don't know if I trust my. I don't think I'd
probably
trust
be
my
gone
bike in the night.
Yeah, I'm a pretty good kryptonite. I don't know. I think I'll be all right.
Nice.
Well, we'll have to do that, Brandon.
The locomotion. Yeah. Well, so like, so in the Oculus Quest store, at least, they like rate the games on comfortability. So like, there's like comfortable, like moderate, and intense, and that's because like, a lot of like the smaller games where you're not like moving around like a whole area, if you're moving, only when you're moving, like your character in the game only moves if you move your body or look around, then it's comfortable because your body's like, okay, like I'm moving, like this is normal. But then a lot of the games like that, Population 1 or any game where you're moving across like a battlefield or something and like shooting and moving farther, you're moving with the joystick. Like you can still walk around and like no matter if you're in like a big area, you can walk around a lot, but like 5x5 area is all you really need. But like you can walk around like within that area and your character will move. But like to move across greater distances, you'll move that joystick and your inner ear gets all fucked up because like your brain is tricked. It thinks you're moving, but it doesn't feel like you are. And then you can get motion sickness. So you have to get like your VR legs, so to speak, like
kind of like sea legs.
Yeah, it's your sea legs, but a lot less like put hair on your chest and more yeah. But so like I think, and it only took one time really, and like where Mike and I were playing some game. It was called Onward, which is like like a Call of Duty type thing. And so we were playing that, and like in it, while I was playing, I felt like a little dizzy, and I was like, oh, this is fine, like I'm good. And it wasn't until we took off our headset and we're sitting there for like 30 minutes or whatever, like after we we're done playing, and I was like, oh my God, I feel like shit. Like I just felt like sick. I was not hungry. Like I was just dizzy. My head hurt. And he's like, me too. And I was like, I think we got motion sickness, bro. Like, and I don't get motion sick from like anything really. So I was surprised, but like not that surprised. I figured it was going to happen at least once. But then after that, like I knew, and then your body kind of gets used to it. I'm sure if I play here, since it's been a while, I might get a little motion sick my first time in again. But it's definitely like watching those tips and tricks videos. They're like the moment you notice like you're uncomfortable, take it off because you don't want to feel that way. Also, like they say don't like if you're showing somebody for the first time VR, don't have them play any of those games and don't put them in a roller coaster simulator. Everybody's like, oh, I want to do like a roller coaster thing. No, you don't. Like it will make you sick, and then they will associate that bad feeling with VR, and that's not the truth. You know what I mean? They'll be like, I don't want to ever do that again. You're like, no. Like, so these more comfortable experiences are better. Like that Oculus First Contact, super hot too. Using super hot. After a couple waves of enemies, you will move, but like you'll teleport. Like the screen will go black for like literally like half a second, and then you'll be in a different area. And then a lot of games have like a way to make it more comfortable. So in Population 1, if you're moving, you can turn on a vignette so that your screen will basically like a black tunnel. Like it will get more of a small tunnel, and it will like your brain will be like, it's like like looking at a TV. When you're playing Call of Duty, you don't really get motion sickness, because you can see everything else. Your brain doesn't think you're moving, so it just kind of blackens the edges, and you can control how narrow it gets. And it can make you get less sick. But I keep that off because I'm comfortable now, and it also like kind of breaks my immersion. Like I want to feel like I'm in there. There's also like one of the other sticks is to turn your head so that you don't actually have to turn your head if you don't want to. And you can have smooth turn on, which would just turn like how you would in any other game. Or you can have snap turn on, which makes you less sick. So it just like snaps at like 15 degrees or 45-degree angles, and it supposedly makes you less queasy because it doesn't feel as real. It's like,
yeah, that makes sense.
It's more mechanic.
Okay,
it's pretty cool.
Yeah,
that cool, the sickness is probably the worst part, but it doesn't happen too often. Kind of the first time.
That's awesome. Yeah, I feel like I'd probably get a little bit sick. I don't know about you, Brandon, but I feel like I'd probably get a little queasy. Do you get motion sick?
That's interesting. That's something that I've never would have thought could happen, but it totally makes sense. And yeah, I do get motion sick in cars sometimes.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I will say though that the cars out here in New York, they suck. Like the roads and the people that drive. Like I've gotten motion sick in like an Uber before. I mean, like sometimes I get sick. Like I've definitely gotten motion sick before. But like man, like I'm I mean not since I was like a kid. And then I get in an Uber out here, and I'm like, geez, ow. Yeah, it just does not feel like I don't know. Like I can see how you would get it out here because there's like it's a really like you move really fast and then slow down, and you turn really fast and like things.
You're
like
also not in control in those like cars, right? So like you've got that thing. In VR, at least Yeah.
Oh, I think I lost you there. What did you say?
Am I back? I just said in VR, at least you're in control of your movement. Your body doesn't, it feels like it isn't. But, and then like I said, like after the first time though, and that's only with games like that. There's plenty of games that like you don't use that movement system, or you use like the teleportation one. Like, I don't know if you've seen the thing, like you point the remote and there's like a little like dotted line. And when you like press a button, like you'll teleport to that area, and that stuff doesn't make you sick. So like there's plenty of like accessibility options so that you don't have to
even
do that
if you
you
are
don't want
somebody
to.
that struggle with that. It looks like there's, I mean, you could probably just play all comfy games then.
Yeah.
Yeah, it kind of seems like the ones where you say like that it like moves you. It kind of seems like that's like pushing. Is that like pushing the medium? Would you say?
Like when what are you saying when it moves you where?
So like, let's say like you're in one of those uncomfy games where there's a lot of that motion stuff. Does it feel like that's like pushing the medium? Does it feel like that's like where the future's going? Like once they figure some stuff out, or does it feel like even the comfy stuff is just like there's like different genres, I guess? Or
yeah, it's almost like the comfortable games will more often be like more casual stuff, but not necessarily like Super Hot is an action game, right? But it's just like rated comfortable because you don't like move around with a joystick and stuff like that. But those ones where you move around with the joystick are definitely like just super immersive and everything like that. And I mean that's where it's going, but it's just a matter of like, it sounds terrible when I'm saying like, yeah, I felt like shit, you know, this, but like after that first time, like I said, like I was fine. It never bothered me again. Like, and I mean, sometimes I'll play for an hour or two and I'll take my headset off and I'll feel like a little off, but I'm fine. Like it's like coming back to reality is weird sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes I get that just from like playing games in general. So
yeah, you're like, oh wow, like yeah. Once you unplug, you're like, what is going on? Like, where am I? And we'd call it R. Like I'd be like, man, I hate R. Like, like I hate reality. Like we're like, I'm just gonna plug in and stay in VR forever. I hate R, dude. R sucks.
Yeah, I love that, man.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Well, dude, no, go ahead.
No, that was all.
So would you like to tell us about some of your games that you played, some of the cooler experiences now that we've kind of got a lot of the, like, I guess, like the hardware and how it actually works out of the way?
Yeah. So
tell us about this game. What's the one you keep talking about?
Super Hot?
Super Hot? Yeah, tell us about that.
Yeah. Yeah, okay. So Super Hot was a game on the PC at first. So it was the same thing. So it looks like and you can look it up to know what I'm like really saying like visually, but like it's like a digital like art style. Like it doesn't look hyper realistic at all. Like the enemies are like these almost like glass like they're people, but they're like crystal, they're like black crystal people. And then they're red, you're black. But like so they're like these red enemies before. Yeah, and then all the items that you can interact with are these black like crystal glass materials. So you can grab bottles and stuff and throw them at people. You can grab the guns, shoot, and throw them at people. But I had played it on the PC like 3 years ago, or oh my god, like 4 years ago in high school, senior year. I got that and I was playing that. And the concept, like the mechanic of the game, is that unless like everything, if you're standing still, like if you're not moving with the keyboard or if you're not moving in VR, everything else is frozen, but not really. It like slowly moves, but it's frozen nonetheless. But once you start moving, things move at like the normal rate. So it's almost like I don't know, it feels like a Christopher Nolan like thing, like, you know, like time only moves when you move is the concept. And then you're just fighting through waves of levels and things like that. And then, you know, you unlock an endless mode and all that. And it's very cool. Like I was having Mike play it, and my roommate Mike, and he was down on his knees, like just shooting with like the Uzis, like over both shoulders, like behind these boxes. Very cool. And then he kept moving. Like
Matrix.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, and matrixing bullets is so cool because
you can do that.
You're like, yeah, they're like moving slowly. And they only move a few moves. So you're like, you know, like letting it just fly past you. Or like, I think you can block them with your hands, but when you do, like your hand is rendered like useless. But so I would like sometimes like try to pretend to pinch them. Yeah, it's very cool. And yeah, so like I got it in VR. It's pretty much the same game, just in on the computer you can move, so you can move everywhere with WASD, but in VR you can't. You're like almost your location locked until you like kill the enemies in that area, and then it just teleports you to the next area. I mean, if you were in like a gymnasium or something, we always talk about this. I'm like, imagine like playing this in like the field house or like a gymnasium, because you would have that area, like you would have this huge area to run around in, because, and then you could just run throughout the whole level. Because what happens is like when you queue up the game, when you queue up the Quest 2, it prompts you to like draw your safety area. So you just basically point with the controller and draw as if you had a magic pen. And it shows the real world because it has those 4 cameras on it. So you can see the real world and you're drawing like the safe area that you're going to play in. And then once you do that, when you're in the game, if you get close to the wall, and you can adjust the sensitivity for this, but if you get close to your border, it starts to like show up, like it starts to glow blue. And if you go out of it, you can see through, and you see through the real world. So it goes on pass through mode is what it's called when you see the real world, because the real world passes through. Yeah. The R, when you see R, yeah, but it's very cool. Funny. So, and then I think they have like, they're rolling out like some new updates to that, like a pet warning system. So it will like, it will try and see your pet. And if your pet comes into your space, it'll warn you. So you don't just kick the crap out of your cat. But
that's awesome.
It's pretty cool. And it's like, it's really cool how it's moving. Like it's definitely got a lot of momentum now with the whole, with Quest and Oculus doing what they're doing.
So are there shortages in these consoles?
There were. Yeah. So when they came out, I was like, man, like I want one of these. And I was like, I'll just like, I knew it wouldn't happen, but I was like, I'll ask for Christmas, and I'll wait till after Christmas. Like maybe some magic stroke of luck, like it will be under the tree, and it wasn't. So I was like, shit. All right, well, I'll buy it. Go online, sold out everywhere. And I almost like there was a Best Buy like in Chicago that had one, and I almost considered driving. I was like, no. So I just ordered it from their website, and it finally got to my house in Muncie like January like 20 something. So like they were on back order. So
well, that's cool that you could at least order it.
Yeah, but now it's fine. I mean, I've seen them in stores and stuff. So
that's cool. So if you want a PS5, just get a Quest.
Yeah. Just get a Quest. Don't waste your time on the PS5. Wait a minute. Wait till the PS5 chills off. Buy it when it's $100 cheaper. But the Quest, man. I've gotten a couple of my friends to get it too. I had a couple of my guys that I play like video games with. I told them about it, and I was like, it's only $300, and you can do everything I've been talking about. Like I was like, and you guys have PCs, so you have like the unlimited capability too to like connect it and do that. And so they did. Like my buddy Luke got it, and we played a co-op zombie shooter together, which is very fun.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Oh, I have a very funny story about that. I'll come right back to it. And then I have a buddy who's like an artist out in California, and he was on Twitter like saying something. He's like, I saw him tweet, and he goes like, strongly considering like dropping like blah 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 on a VR headset like this and that. And then I just messaged him. I said, have you heard of the Quest 2? I was like, it's $300. And I was like, this and that. And he's like, I'm going to get one tomorrow. And he did. So he was like, I've not heard of that. And he's like, holy shit. So now he's making like art in VR and stuff. Like you can walk around, like you can draw this stuff and walk around your like art that you're drawing, which is just super cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So I've put some people onto it. Like I need to be sponsored. Like I'm not affiliated in any way to Facebook or Oculus. Should have like put that at the beginning, but I just love it. I just like it a lot. I'm very passionate about it.
Yeah,
that's awesome. I mean, it kind of seems like, just from the way you're talking about it, kind of seems like this is like the future.
Yeah, so I texted Blake some like notes that I wanted to try and talk about, and I put future of gaming ? I don't think so. I mean, I definitely like part of the future, but it's not going. Yeah, it's not going to like. I don't see it like wiping out PC gaming or console gaming or anything like that, because like, I mean, like I love just sitting down and like turning on the console. Like, you know, like I said, to do the whole VR thing, I got to go into VR. I have to be standing or sitting, but like I'm in there, and sometimes it's nice to just sit on the couch and look at the TV or share a game with somebody. You know what I mean? Like that's not going. That's not going anywhere. Yeah, you can't really share.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I don't think the other game is not going anywhere. But I think VR is definitely like going to be. It's good. There's going to be a big three now. It's going to be consoles, PC, and VR probably. So
that's awesome.
There's like a new category, I guess, because it's a totally different experience. Like it's not like any of the others. So
yeah, I guess
definitely
that's
sounds like it.
What were you saying?
It definitely sounds like it. It sounds like this other experience. I really want to try it now. Kind of sold me on it.
I'm saying, bro. I'm saying, get it. Add me as a friend. We'll run it. We'll run something.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons we wanted to have you on is both Brandon and I are just absolutely fascinated by VR, and we really want to experience it for ourselves. But I mean, obviously, like being young people, Brandon's in college. I'm just right out of college myself. Sometimes it's hard to. I mean, even though it's like $300, like that. I mean,
it's still $300, right? Like, so yeah,
So how much are the games? Like, are the games expensive or?
So some of like most of them aren't your $60 game. They're usually cheaper. So like a lot of them have been like 15, 20. I think Walking Dead, which is like a very good, like well fleshed out game, is like 40 something. I think it's just 40, right at 40, like $39.99. But I don't even think there probably is a $60 game, but I think more of those $60 games, like those AAA prices, are games that have a VR port, like No Man's Sky, right? But like No Man's Sky now is on sale because it's been years. But like things like that, I don't think there's any like AAA prices, which is like nice, and I hope it stays that way because, well, I think it's that way because there aren't any like AAA games yet. Your biggest AAA game, closest thing was Half-Life Alyx. Like that was the biggest thing to like, because you can't charge $60 for a thing that doesn't have like, that isn't going to be the same like amount of play time, like same amount of polish. Some of these games are like, it's still new, even though it's like, it's pretty good. But yeah. So like, yeah, I mean, there are these lower price points. And I definitely like dropped quite a few bucks and I still haven't even played all the games yet. But like they'll go on sale. I'm like, oh, well, I'm going to play it eventually. Like I'll just buy it. I'm like, might as well. And I think they're getting me. I took marketing classes. You'd think I'd remember a thing or two. They're using the same techniques. But this funny story.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah,
this is hilarious. So me and my buddy Luke, we were playing Arizona Sunshine. So it's a very janky co-op zombie shooter. Has a co-op campaign, has co-op wave survival, this and that. And so we're playing it, and we were trying to set up because I wanted to record a gameplay video, and I was trying to do this, and then when I would take off my headset, it was falling asleep, and we were going back and forth, and finally we were in. And then we're in this level that was like down in a mine. So it's like pitch black, like very dark. We could only find one flashlight. We're like, where's the second one? We're like, I'm literally like physically leaning over this table that doesn't exist. Like where is it, behind here? And we're like looking all over for it. I think I eventually found it. And then like, we are like, all right, now let's go shoot these zombies. And then he's like, oh, hold on, my mom's calling me. So he takes off. He's like, oh, my mom's calling me. So he lets go of the controllers. So then in the game, his like character's wrists just go limp. And then they're dangling. And then he like takes off the headset. And so then like he brings it down to the ground, his character just crumples. Like he crumples into this pile of mush. And then he drags his headset over to like, wherever he set it, like on a table. And his character gets dragged across the floor, like with his arms like seizing all over the place, gets dragged across the floor into a wall. And he's like half into a wall and he's just shaking. And then he sits there. And then his headset fell asleep because it was off his head. And then it says like, it was like saying Luke's like character is timed out. And it was counting down like 30 seconds to when I could kick him. And it was like going, and then it hit 0 and I hit kick and then his body disappeared. And I was like, oh man, now I'm all kidding at first. And then I was like, all right, I'm actually getting fucking scared because in the background, I'm in this pitch black area, and all I heard in the background was like all these zombie noises, and I was like, all right, I'm actually freaked out. Like I'm alone in the dark. Like, I'm in VR. I feel like I'm literally alone in an old mining tunnel with a bunch of zombies wanting to nibble at my flesh down the hallway. It's like,
Oh my
so I
gosh.
didn't move. I didn't move till he got back on. I was like, oh, thank God you're back. I was like, please get in. I was like, I got very scared.
Oh, that's awesome. That's hilarious.
Yeah. It's very funny. I want to play like a horror game.
Oh gosh.
That's like
imagine.
the most scary game I've played. But I think that'll be really fun. I don't think I want to play it alone. Like I'd like somebody there just like laughing at me at least.
Yeah, that'd be fun to do like a co-op.
Yeah.
Horror game.
Yeah. And there's one that it's like called Phasmophobia or I don't know what it's called, like Thaslophobia. I don't know. Something phobia. Some weird word, but I think it means like the fear of the dark. But I don't know. Or ghosts or something. I don't know what it means.
Oh,
but
man.
it looks cool.
Yeah, I don't know about that. I might have to pass on those.
Blake's like, no, that's not happening.
It's fun. It's fun to scare yourself. It's fun to poop your pants every now and then, right?
I'm with you on that one, Carter.
Yeah. It's nice. It's like that adrenaline rush. It's fun to be scared every once in a while.
Yeah, it's like same reason you get on a roller coaster.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Have you done a roller coaster sim?
Yeah, I did actually. So I did after like doing stuff like, because I had that whole like don't do the roller coaster thing. And then I played one and it was really funny. So like I have this like lawn chair that's like a rocking chair, like it has hydraulics in it that my girlfriend's parents got me. And then and so I was sitting in it and it was like we came back from the bars and I was drunk and I like put on my headset and like I got jacked into the roller coaster simulator and then I was like tilting myself like with it. And I was like, whoa, like just to like immerse myself more. And it was very cool. And then like I took off the headset and I was almost crying with like joy. Like, it was so funny. Like everyone was like, oh my God. I was like, this is so cool. But it was very neat.
It definitely seems like having roommates that are into it has aided the experience.
Yeah,
that seems like.
But then that's also why I like stopped playing it too. Because like at some point you can't really share it too much.
Mm-hmm.
So waited
until
has
its limits.
Back here. Yeah, it's making me want to play it.
Well, so here's the thing. Here's a question. How would so like let's say I had a quest and you had a quest and we like we're hanging out in the same space. Could we both be in the same space doing like a VR like zombie shooter? Like could you both have the same safe space?
No, probably not the same space because we'd run into each other. But I mean, we could probably be in the same house, or like the same kind of room and just draw our own like quarters off. But yeah, I mean, you just play over Wi-Fi how you normally would. But
that'd be cool.
I don't know if you could be in the same area. I imagine not because your quest would keep rendering there as like an object being in your way. And it would be like, yo, get that thing out of your way,
Yeah.
Also, we'd probably end up like smacking each other in the face or something.
Yeah, I guess it doesn't really have like the same couch co-op feel to it.
Yeah, no. It does it was very cool to play that. That Arizona Sunshine was like the first time I played with somebody that I knew because I had played Population 1 with like a random stranger and stuff, which was cool. But it was super cool to like playing a game with your friend is very cool. So I was like, and then playing VR with your friend, I was like, wow, this is awesome. Like, we are in the desert, like right now, with Tommy guns, dude. Like we're ripping it up. It's very cool.
Have you tried any sports simulators?
The closest thing I've played to that is Echo VR. So, what's that book? Something game. It's like I can't think of it. They're like in space and
Ender's Game.
Yes, Ender's Game. So it's basically Ender's Game VR. So like there's a goal and then we have like a disc and it's teams of 4 or something, but you're like in a floating space area. So your locomotion is You have thrusters on both your wrists, and then you can also grab stuff and push off of things. So that one is rated as moderately uncomfortable because of the thrusters, but like because most of your movement is you pushing off of things and like grabbing the disc and punching people, like that's very cool. Yeah, and that one's free. It's free. So
what's that called?
Echo VR.
Wow, that's cool. That sounds awesome.
So and that one is just fun.
Sorry to cut you off there. I think the Wi-Fi might be breaking up a little bit.
Oh yeah, probably. The Wi-Fi is poop
that
here.
Might have been that. But anyways, have you had any experiences like you said like with thrusters? Have you ever like gotten like a jetpack or anything like that?
No, I want to.
Do they have games like that?
I imagine there's something like that. Like I want to play like Just Cause, that game where like you're it's like a parachute, like slingshots and all that, or like zip line stuff. I want to play something like that in VR. Like just like I want to play like a very mobile game. You know what I mean? Like one where there's just all sorts of locomotion forms. I think I do have one game. I think it's called Richie's Plank Experience, which is like a video that like if you look up like people trying VR for the first time, people have them play that a lot, which is like you go up an elevator and there's just like a plank out over like a city skyline, and people walk out and they get like super scared of heights and they are like wobbling because like your brain thinks you're up there. But I think there's like a mode in that game where you can fly. Don't know if you can. And in Population 1, you can climb any surface. So any surface you just grab and you can climb up buildings, which is super cool. And then you can fly from any surface if you put your arms out. So you'll just like glide down to the ground, which is awesome to do. I'll like glide and then I'll be gliding and then I'll shoot out a window and like fly through it. Very cool.
That sounds
like
awesome.
A Batman game would be awesome.
Yeah, I was just thinking like something that would be really cool. It'd be like superhero games like Spider-Man or like Iron Man or something like that.
Yeah.
That would be so rad to have. Like, oh god, I can just imagine like putting your like arms down like Iron Man and flying.
Yeah. And like
cool.
yeah, I want to play a game where like the way I'm flying is like this. You know what I mean? Like I want to tilt my head up like and fly like Superman. Like I want that to be the direction I'm flying. Like that would be awesome. Like I just want to fly around like a big old open jungle.
Do you think it'd be possible to like experience fear of heights while flying?
Yeah. Oh yeah. So like I definitely did in Population 1 a little bit. Like when I first like jumped off so like you pull like a little. You get in like these pods that jetpack up and you pull the ejector, and I was like falling and I was like, whoa, like I felt like they'll like sink in my stomach at first. I was like, holy shit. And then, you're like, it's not real, but it feels really real. And it's cool that it does feel real. It was cool. Like, but the fact that I think part of like the fear of heights thing is like the fear of like, I don't know, maybe for me it's like the fear of falling. The fact that I know I'm not actually falling is like what kind of pulls it away. Like, I'm like, oh, I'm fine. But like, definitely when I do look over like things, I'm like, whoa, like that is far. Like, I'm like, holy shit. I think when I played Super Hot for the first time, I like walked out of like, I tilted my head like out of the place I'm supposed to be. And it was just like an open white, like vast, like white, like nothing was rendered area. But it was scary. Like it was just a big like open white, and I was like, whoa. I felt like Squidward and SpongeBob, like alone.
That joke is awesome.
You know what I'm talking about, where Squidward does like the time machine, and then he ends up like in that white area, and he's like, I'm all alone.
Or a place he ends up in like a place that doesn't exist.
Yeah, it's just a vast open white area. And he's
sorry, guys. My mom won't let me watch Cartoon Network, okay? Jeez.
So it's on Nickelodeon, so.
Oh, that's funny.
Nice try, though.
Yeah.
I guess there's no excuse now.
Yeah. That's funny.
My parents did actually lock like TV 14 and above on my TV, though.
That's rough.
They kept me in a box.
It is tough.
Look at me fly now.
Just spread my wings, Ma.
So is there any other games that you'd like to shout out that you thought were really cool?
what else have I played?
Have you played any of the Star Wars games that they have out?
No,
like
I haven't.
Immortal ones.
So I do want to, and I definitely would have like hopped right on it if I was more of a fanboy. But yeah, if I were you, Blake, I definitely like I would buy if you get it, I would buy that. Like
I think that's good. If I'm it's inevitable now.
But
when
Skip,
I get one.
Yeah, right. When you get one.
When I get one. I think the Vader Immortal ones are gonna be the first thing I do. I think that sounds
so the cool. Vader Immortal ones is like there's 3 games and they're each $10 each because it's like Vader Immortal Part 1, 2, and 3.
Mm-hmm.
I think I've heard in Part 2 is when you get the Force. So if you just want to like be able to do lightsaber and all this stuff, just skip 1 and get 2. But and then there's like also like Tales from like the Galaxy or something like that. Tales from Galaxy's Edge or something.
Yeah, they have.
You do more like blaster wielding and things like that.
Oh,
I do want to do one of those because the graphics in that are definitely like awesome. Like because it's like
a AAA title.
Yeah, like there's a lot of AAA looking at least, like visually. And that's like, some of the games like Arizona Sunshine like looks kind of like dog ass, but it was fun to play. Like it's super fun to play. But it's pretty cool. It's good. I like it. I like VR. It's awesome.
Yeah, I actually I saw something the other day, and it was like a VR space. I think actually, now that I'm thinking about it, I think the game is called like Star Wars Pinball VR, and you get like you should look it up really quick.
Let me look it up.
Because I think that it's more of like this. It's a game that you can buy, but I think it's more like a room that you're in, essentially like a VR room that has like a pinball machine in it that you can like look in and see, and then there can be like in the you're just in like a virtual arcade. Mm-hmm, yeah,
pinball.
That's cool. That looks really cool. Are there a lot of things like that where it's like just like virtual spaces?
I know there's desk or tabletop simulator is a thing that's already existed like on the PC and stuff, which is like you can play all sorts of like tabletop games like Uno and that. And I know that's in VR, so you can play that in VR and even more feel like you're at a table. And there's like poker and stuff like that. Yeah, there's all sorts of things like that. Yeah, Poker Stars is like a free poker one that you can play. You can play poker in VR with people. And then VR chat is actually exactly what you're talking about. So VR chat is like you can pick any avatar you want. So you could be SpongeBob, you could be like a lot of people are anime characters and shit like that. But you can be like whatever character you want. And the whole point of VR chat is I think there's some activities and things you can do, but like really it's just going to different environments and different chat rooms and just chatting and hanging out with people.
And stuff really cool. Have you read the book Ready Player One?
Yes. Yeah.
Is it kind of like that like hangout room that they talk about in the book?
Yeah.
That's cool.
And I mean, awesome. And like in some environments are very well thought out and very pretty, and some are like some dude tossed it together in the Unreal Engine and threw it in, like it's nothing crazy, but it's pretty neat. It's very cool.
Awesome.
Yeah, and then there's like I'll watch videos of like people like there's like haptic suits and haptic gloves and stuff like that, which are fun. Yeah, like one dude like had a haptic vest and he was like, "All right, I'm gonna get shot in VR," stuff like that. But
oh shit,
it's pretty cool.
Have you seen the thing where it's like there's like you like put the vest on and then there's like imagine like a hanger, like the hook of a hanger, but it's like hooked to a loop on the like in the middle of your back, and then and it's on like this like crane kind of like an L contraption.
Oh yeah, so you can walk.
So you can walk in VR, and it's like you're hooked up to basically like an inverted dome treadmill. Yeah, and that's like people like running it. Have you thought about getting one of those?
No, I've not thought about getting that. But I've thought about how cool it would be to try it. But no. And like so like things like that, like those haptic vests and those like basically VR treadmills and stuff, like I mean obviously aren't supported in like every game. They're supported in like some games and there's workarounds, but I mean like that's not like the standard at all.
Right.
Like that's like the cool thing and people on each of your fingers. And so like it like pulls, like I don't know, like it adds feedback, kind of how like the PS5 controller had like the triggers bounce when you shoot, something like that. Just that haptic
cool.
feedback
so it's kind of
to
like
feel more
kind of
immersed.
like resistance kind of thing.
Yeah.
That's cool. That's interesting. Wow, that's awesome. Well, Brandon, have you thought about what kind of games you would want to play if you had a VR headset?
Definitely Skyrim. It's something that since I've found out about, I've always wanted to experience.
Yeah.
Minecraft would be one. I'd like a racer as well, like something that I can drive.
Yeah, there's a cool like kart racer that I want to like try out, but and that's on the Quest, and then there's like a bunch of like more realistic racers on like the PC that I want to try one out too, just like because like all right, so like GTA driving in Grand Theft Auto, like just on the console, I like that's my favorite driving physics out of anything, like just because it feels realistic enough, but also video gamey enough, because I don't want things to be too realistic, like what's that game? Watch Dogs. All the cars are like so heavy and I'm like, I don't want it to feel clunky. Like I want it to feel still like a video game,
Right.
But I want to whip around in VR. Like I just want to like drive around in VR. That would be so fun. So.
Yeah, that sounds so cool. Have you thought about getting the Star Wars Squadrons game?
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Okay, I didn't even. Yeah, because that one's like it has VR and not VR too.
Yeah, so I got it for non-VR, and actually we have an episode about this, and if you want to check it out, we do. Like you can look at our back catalog. But I think I mentioned in it, I was like, yeah, it definitely feels like somebody in VR would have like a lot more fun and control, because you would be able to like actually look around inside the cockpit. And it's like really, it feels kind of limited. And I would just love to see like, and I guess there are also people like, I mean, if you have a gaming PC now, I mean, I don't know
how pilot sticks.
Yeah, you could buy a pilot stick and do pilot stick controls in VR. So if you really wanted to experience it, you could do that.
Yeah.
Well, I guess, I mean, yeah, you can also get one. Can you get one of those like those car cages? Do you know what I'm talking about?
What do you mean?
Oh my gosh.
Just like the steering wheel?
No. Well, they do have that where you can just get like the steering wheel and have like VR, but they also have like people that really love like the driving sims. I think you can get like a steel frame.
Oh wow. So like you feel like the rumble and everything?
Yeah.
That would be insane.
I think they're like thousands of dollars though.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
Let me see.
What is the audio like? Like
that's a good question.
So you can, so on the Quest, I mean, like it differs from thing to thing. Like I know HTC Vive and things like that have like the best form of audio, it seems like, are these like the headphones don't touch your ears, they just hover right next to your ears. Like and then but on the Quest, I've just been using the native speaker. Like I just turn it up and it's fine. Like I mean it has it has panning left and right, so like and all that. But there's an aux cord, so you can plug in and jack in headphones, or if you got a really nice pair of headphones, you can do that. But I haven't done that. I should try that out actually, because I do have like a over the ear headphones, which would definitely like be even more immersive.
Yeah.
But the speaker is all I was really using so far. But I got like a new head strap for it. So like it comes with the head strap. It comes with is basically just like, a fabric head strap that goes around the back of your head and over the top, which is fine. But it's a little shaky and it doesn't feel as comfortable. So I got like one that attaches, and it's like, it feels more like a helmet now. Like it's just still strapped over the top, but like the back has like this almost inverted dome with a little twisty thing that I can twist to tighten it or twist to untighten it.
Kind of like a bike helmet.
Yeah, so it's just like, and then it snugs on really good. And then I got a VR cover for like $5 that goes over the foam padding that is normally on there that touches your face, and it's like a silicone one, so that way I can like clean it off and not put all that grime on my face all the time.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Wow. That seems awesome.
And then I bought. a battery pack for it and like a cord and then some Velcro straps to attach it. I've definitely like, oh, dude, I might have it here. I could probably just hold it up just to show you guys. I know it would mean nothing for the podcast, but I don't have it, but I'll send a picture in the group chat so you guys can check it out when I go home. But yeah, I've modded mine a little bit, but it's still pretty cool.
It's cool that it's customizable too, especially like, I mean, are all those products like third-party products?
Yeah, well, okay, there's a head strap that Oculus themselves sell and stuff, but that's like more expensive for no reason, paying for the brand. So I just got a third-party one for like $20 cheaper.
Yeah.
And then and they sell like a head strap that comes with a battery pack encased in it, but I just looked up like battery packs for Oculus Quest 2 and they're like, these are the ones with the proper voltage, this and that. So I just got one, and then and then it's a portable battery pack. Like I could use it for whatever, but I just keep it mounted to the headset.
Yeah, that's super rad, man. Well, if you wanted to spend some more, those joysticks, I looked it up. They're only
how much?
$80. Oh,
that's not too bad, actually.
Yeah, there's this one from Best Buy, the PC Thrustmaster.
What's it called that?
Oh God.
Xbox Series X and X, and PC.
I don't do enough flight sims.
Well, maybe if you got that, you would.
Yeah, if I got that, I'd force myself to. I'd play at least 80 hours, $1 1 hour. That's
have you put 300 hours in to
Probably
VR?
Not. Probably not.
I can see that though. I mean, especially if you're only playing 2 or 3 hours at a time.
Yeah. What? 3 hours at a time? I just have to play for 100 days.
Yeah. It's only 1/3 of the year.
Yeah, I gotta put in work.
I just wanted to say congrats again for graduating and obviously like follow Carter on his YouTube channel. He's gonna have some more gameplay stuff coming soon and some VR stuff coming soon. So definitely check him out. And thank you so much for coming, Carter. Like we really appreciate it. And please shout out your links, man. Yeah, thank you for having me. I'm on YouTube, Carter Dahlgren, CarterTeer, and then Dahlgren, Dahlgren. So far I haven't posted in a while. I had school and shit, and then the work and shit, and then packing and shit. But I'm gonna post some more stuff because I want to, and I will. And check it out or don't. But I would like it if you did. Absolutely. Man. Thank you guys for having me. Please check out his channel. He's got some cool stuff. He does have a very embarrassing Forrest Gump video on there. Yeah, from high school. So check that one out. That's probably my hottest video, actually, because people think it's like I captioned it like professional reenactment, and people think it is. I've gotten some mean comments that it's not. Cool. It's a waste of my time. I was like, and I liked it. I put a heart on it. I was like, that's hilarious. Gotta get that engagement, Yeah, for real. He's also got some really cool vlogs. He's a great editor, so check out his stuff for sure. Thank you so much for coming. Carter D88 on Instagram. Commission me for your editing needs. Oh, do you do that? That's it. Yeah, I want to get that going more because I want to do remote work eventually here, I think. We'll hit him up for some video editing then. Yeah. You want to say anything, Brandon, before we end it up?
You've sold me. I think I need an Oculus.
Good, get it, dude. Hell yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
Thanks for coming on, man. I really appreciate it.
You guys.
It's nice meeting you. And congrats.
Nice to meet you. Thank you.
Congratulations.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Carter. This is Blake and Brandon here after we recorded the VR episode. That was really insightful. I mean, I personally learned a lot about VR. That was crazy. I mean,
yeah,
that was just nuts.
It was a super fun episode to record. Thank you so much, Carter, again for coming on the pod and telling us about your experiences with VR. It was super nice to meet you. You sold me on the Oculus, and I learned a lot about Facebook, surprisingly.
Yeah.
So overall, really good episode. Thank you guys so much for tuning in.
Yeah, we had a great time record. That was actually so much fun to record. Like, thank you so much, Carter. Like, you definitely made me laugh. Like, I feel like I might have to edit some of the laughs there to make them sound a little bit softer. So I think I laughed a little too hard back there. But yeah, thanks so much, and thank you to our dear listeners. Like, I really hope that you enjoyed that and found that informative. I personally learned a lot, and I had no idea about like some of that VR stuff. So maybe you'll hear some VR content from us soon. I don't know. But thank you so much, and we'll see you next week. Bye.
Peace in the streets.